Hello, good morning. My name is Abidemi Taiwo, and you are watching On the Couch with Abby. We are live here at the Dublin District Court at the formal inquest of the death of George Nkencho, a 27-year-old man that was shot and killed by the Garda Síochána in December 2020.
The inquest formally began into the death of George Nkencho, and George was shot almost 6 months ago by Gardaí on his doorstep at least 5 times.
Yeah.
We don't actually know that yet, but what we do know is that it was within probably about 20 minutes of an altercation in a shop. And the serious questions to ask about the Gardaí actions that day that resulted in the death of a young man, a grieving family and friends, and what role race played in the Garda actions that day. I've been a representative in Dublin West for a long time, and I'm hearing many stories from black people and minorities about the way that they're policed, particularly young black men. And we all know that racism is a serious problem in society, but institutional racism in Ireland, I think, is being brought out by this as well. Absolutely. And the fact that the Gardaí subsequently in Blanchardstown, 5 minutes from where this incident happened, were able to disarm a man with a shotgun who shot 2 of them, and yet with a criminal record, a member of possibly a gang, land crime. And yet George Nkencho, who probably had nothing more than a butter knife or a kitchen knife, they couldn't subdue him.
Yeah.
And 13 Gardaí we know, at least, were there that day. That's been confirmed by GSOC. Why could 13 Gardaí not reason, talk, let the family talk to George, knowing he had mental health issues? Failing that, why could they not just grab him? The idea that they had to use lethal force in that situation is completely unjustified. And the state has to be made aware that people won't allow this be covered up.
Yeah.
And there are similarities with George Floyd in that there is footage of the incident, which shows passerby who turned their camera when they heard the shots. And we know for a fact from that footage, when it's enhanced and enlarged and slowed down, that George had his back to the Gardaí when this shooting happened. Why were they shooting at somebody trying to get into their own house? And this ridiculous narrative, which is a bit of an insult to people's intelligence, that he was a danger to his own family. The Gardaí, last week it was reported, haven't been answering 999 domestic violence calls. They're never there when a woman is having her barring order breached. In Dublin 15, I've been witness to that myself. And yet, they were suddenly protecting George's family from him.
Oh my goodness, I am absolutely shocked you hearing that about domestic violence, them not picking up the calls.
Well, apparently there was a report out last week, it was in the Sunday Times actually, it was picked up internationally, that thousands of 999 emergency calls are going completely unanswered by guards. Wow. And yet they've time to follow young black men in Dublin 15 who are driving a car. Yet they have time to appear en masse for the Devon workers to break their picket line.
I was actually going to go into that, Ruth. I know that you are a strong activist and you're a great supporter when it comes to women, when it comes to issues like this, racism. So what would you like to happen now? What next? Well, in regards to George Nkencho's case?
Okay, well, firstly, we need the person responsible for this has to be brought to justice, has to face trial, or has to answer for this. And we also need a real forum where local communities, minorities, black people, travellers, people who suffer under the Gardaí are able to engage with the Gardaí and make them answerable and accountable. Yeah. Now, why is that such a radical idea? That the guards are meant to be serving the public. But they don't. They serve an elite in society. And I think that that's been confirmed by the last year of the pandemic and the things that have happened. We also saw how the Gardaí have been able to disarm people who were armed and dangerous. Whereas George, come on, you deal with people with knives every day when you're a guard. Surely this is not unusual. But what was the difference? Was it because George was black? Was it because they were in a working class area?
The Nkencho family came out to give a statement and also thanked the supporters, activists and demonstrators that came out in solidarity to the Justice for George Nkencho case.
We are here today to support the Nkencho family. The question from me are, why was George killed and killed in his family home, not given a chance? Why did the Garda not talk to him and allow his family to talk to him in order to defuse and step down the situation? Why was the Garda's armed support unit called to the scene at all and not the public disorder handling section of the Garda? Will there be full accountability by the Garda responsible? Will George get an investigation of the same high standard as a victim of non-Garda killing? What role did race play in the Garda's action on this fateful day? These are the key questions being asked by the Black and minority communities in Ireland now. Regularly, we see the Black community and especially young Black men and boys intimidated, assaulted, experiencing racial profiling and classism, being stopped and questioned if they have owned a car, being reported as gang if they gather in groups. We have witnessed young and adult Black and minority communities being judged adversely by their skin, predetermined, judged not by who they are, nor positive contribution that they are bringing to the society, not even given a chance to prove their innocence or their worth or who they are, but condemned. This is unfair and demeaning. This has to change. All the surveys shows Black community is being policed in a different way, and this has to stop. We're using this opportunity to thank you all once again, and for your unrelenting effort and support, especially the press, the groups, organizations, the people of Ireland. We thank you very much, and we are once again very, very good. Thank you.
Let's keep raising awareness for justice for George. Let's keep doing that. Thank you so much for watching On the Couch with Abby. My name is Abidemi Taiwo.